Hey guys, this video we're going to be taking a quick look at the Eachine ATX03, and this is a super mini video transmitter, 72 channels, and it's power adjustable from 0, 25, 50, and 200 milliwatts. This is pretty much exactly the same as the Eachine VTX03 that I reviewed a couple months back. However, this one has an audio input, and that's the primary difference between the VTX03 and the ATX03. As you can see here on the end here, we have a 4-wire connector, and this is the connector here. It's got audio, video, and power. And if you look at the VTX03, so I have the VTX03 here on my left, and the ATX03 is on the right. You can clearly see how similar the two video transmitters are. Obviously there's no audio here on this one, just 3 leads, 1 for video and 2 for power. The battery connector on both of these is the same, 1.25 millimeter pitch JST connector for 1S batteries. I think the voltage input is like 3.3 to 5.5 volts, and then the power output here is going to be 5 volts to your camera. Now the connector here, as I said, is a 1 millimeter pitch JST connector, so if your camera can accept this connector and the order of the wires is correct, so you have power, then ground, video, then audio, then you can just plug this into your camera, assuming that it can take 5 volts. And none of my cameras are compatible with this connector, so if you have that situation, then you're going to have to basically cut off this connector here and either solder on your own connector, or in my case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually solder on these 4 wires to this little micro camera here that I haven't reviewed yet. This is a 1.2 gram 1200 TV line micro CMOS camera. You can see here you got 4 connections here: ground, power, video, and audio. And this has a built-in microphone, so the microphone will pick up the audio on this board, and then once you solder all these connectors here, then the audio will be sent to the video transmitter. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll basically cut off the end of this connector here, solder it onto this camera, and then we'll get some video. And here's just a quick look at the manual. It's same as the VTX03. You get all these multiple bands here, although I don't think that some of these bands are all that useful. I would just stick with the traditional 5 bands here: A, B, E, F, and R. And I think that some of these other bands here are probably not legal to use, so I wouldn't use those. There's some specs on the video transmitter, and it's NTSC and PAL switchable, and you get it gives you the power usage here in milliamp hours for the different power ratings from 25 to 200 milliwatts, and then basic operating switch. I'll actually go over this here in a second once I power it on. Okay, so I got the camera soldered onto these wires here, as you can see, and I got my video transmitter powered on. It's not actually transmitting yet because the power is off with that 0 there. I'm going to go ahead and set my channel and band first. You just set the channel first by pressing the buttons one at a time. But with the transmitter off, it actually doesn't work, so you have to turn the transmitter on. So I'm going to set it to 25 milliwatts by holding and pressing the button for 5 seconds. And it'll start flashing. And then you just press it once, and then you'll get power here. 1 dash is 25 milliwatts, 2 is going to be 50, and then 3 is going to be 200. I'm on band A, channel 1 right now. I am getting some video here because this is actually, this one's tuned to Fat Shark 7, which is 5 megahertz off, so I'm going to actually change my band here to band F. And I'll go ahead and change my channel now. So I'm on Fat Shark 7 and broad transmitting at 25 milliwatts. And you can see here I've got an image that's being transmitted by the camera there. And pretty sharp image from that 1200 TV line camera. I don't know if you can see the focus chart there off in the distance, but normally on these micro cameras, like they're about 600 TV lines, that's very blurry, and I can actually make out the edges of the pattern there, which I normally can't on the 600 TV line camera, which is kind of interesting. And here's a close-up look at some of the junk on my bench. Yeah, it looks like it's working pretty good. And I'm going to record some of the video here from this DVR and test out the audio. See what the audio sounds like for me speaking. Okay, so here's a test of the audio on the ATX03 as well as the microphone on this 1.2 gram micro camera, and we'll see what this audio sounds like. Okay, so I'll conclude this quick review of the Eachine ATX03. I'll have some flight footage on the camera in another video, so be on the lookout for that. This is the 1.2 gram 1200 TV line CMOS micro camera. So be on the lookout for that video. Let me know if you have any questions about this product. Also put a card up in the corner for the other product that I reviewed before, the Eachine VTX03, which is pretty much exactly the same as this. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.